Good morning, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I decided to film today's class in my beautiful backyard. It's just spectacular. It's just beautiful. I wish that you could be here on my lawn soon. And coming up in June, I'm going to be offering 2 chances to come in the evening, and we will spread out on that beautiful lawn and have a in-person socially distanced yoga class twice in June. So watch for those. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I wanted to come outside because today's class is going to be returning to the basics of the practice. And what more of a beautiful place to return to the basics is to return to nature and not get too complicated in posture today, but instead really touch that part of you that feels at home, that feels connected to not just yourself, but something greater than yourself. And also that opportunity to recognize just how alive we are when we don't get complicated with some of the movements, but instead just stay with what we know and really touch into the sensation that we feel. So I hope you also will take the time to play with this week's meditation. I filmed it yesterday on a very different day. It was very rainy, but just so comforting. And the idea of nature and water is just such a wonderful place to find peace. So go ahead, and we're going to start the practice today on our backs. And as usual, I will be turning off my camera, as beautiful as it is. I want you to just listen to my voice, maybe the sounds of nature. I hope you can hear my water in the background. There's plenty of birds. Maybe you want to turn on some soft meditation type music, whatever feels really good to you. But I want it to be comfortable and non-distracting. So find yourself on your back, and I will turn off my camera, and I will see you at the end of the practice. We'll reconnect. Enjoy. Start to settle into the sensation that you feel with your back, just resting on the mat. And close your eyes. You might have your knees bent. You might have the soles of your feet together with your hips open like a butterfly, or you might just be splayed out on your mat. It doesn't matter at this moment. What matters is that you're comfortable, you're connected. Just start to breathe in a little bit deeper, a little bit more full, a little bit more aware of the breath. You start to recognize the cycles of breath. The inhale just so effortlessly becomes the exhale. The exhale becomes the inhale. And there's this rhythm within you. It just feels so natural. So easy, so basic. And take just a moment to recognize the blessings in your life, the good, the fullness, the aliveness. Gratitude. And start to bring your knees into your chest. Squeeze really tight. And then cup your hands over the top of your knee where your knees connect to your shins. And just gently open the hips. Let your knees fall open. And on your in-breath, close your knees. And on your out-breath, open your knees. Take just a few cycles like that, just allowing the hips to begin to wake up. Nice. And keep your knees close to the chest. Push your left knee down towards your foot. So just push it forward as you hug the right knee in tighter. And then switch. So the left knee will come into the chest as the right knee drops forward towards the feet. And so you start this motion here where you're pulling one knee into the chest as the opposite knee falls away from the chest. And we find another way that the hip can move, not always opening and closing, but forward and back. Take just a couple more cycles like that. And then bring both knees into the chest and keep your hands just over the shin area, the knee area, and start to rotate your ankles. Sometimes we forget about how important our ankle joints are. Some of the more subtle body parts seem to be forgotten at times. Wiggle your toes. Open and close your toes. Reverse your directions of your circles. And then cross at your ankles. Begin to just rock and roll front to back just a little bit. And then eventually the rock and roll will take you up to a seat. And from the seat, just roll over onto all fours. So we'll set ourselves up for tabletop. Just coming into a position where our spine is flat. Our hands are underneath our shoulders, knees are directly underneath the hips, tops of the feet. Press into the mat, and we're in this very neutral position, your eyes gazing down at your hands. And then push against the floor, like really plug your hands into the mat. Pull your belly button in towards your spine and round your spine up towards the ceiling as your head falls. You might even look at your belly. This is very extended, rounded spine. We call it cat pose. We'll stay for just one more breath cycle here. Taking this slow, there's no need to rush, even if you might know where we might be headed. And now let your belly fall towards the floor as your heart goes forward and your nose begins to lift up. So the spine is now this concave shape. Belly is heavy. We call this one cow. So we have 6 directions that our spine moves, and the basics is a great way to make sure that we connect with all 6 ways of our spine. So here's 2 ways, the flexion and extension. So round your spine again, push against the floor, exhale, flexion, feel the round spine. And now when you inhale, push your heart forward, lift your nose and extend the spine. Press against the floor, round your spine. And now begin to find this rhythm again of your breath. The inhale will draw the nose up as the belly falls. And the exhale will round the spine and lower the head. Our spine is broken into 3 very important segments, and each segment moves in all 6 directions. Making sure that we touch on those directions is really important to maintain the vitality of all parts of our body. The yogis have believed forever that the health of the spine actually dictates the health of the body. The vitality, if you will, the chi, the energy in the body. So take 2 more cycles of this cat and cow, just following the rhythm of your breath. And then you'll come back to tabletop neutral spine. Eyes are looking down at your hands. Now begin to turn your head to the right. Bring your chin towards your shoulder and let your body turn into this C shape with the hips to the left, eyes to the right. You just feel how the spine can move now in this direction. And then come back to neutral. Take your hips to the right, turn your head to the left, feel the side bend as your body creates the C shape. Now we'll link the breath here. Come back to neutral, inhale. Exhale, look to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look left. Follow it again, coming back to center, inhale. And exhale, right. One more time through, come back to center, inhale. Turn left and exhale. Return to center, eyes between your hands. And now bring your big toes to touch. Take your knees wider. Sink your hips back towards your heels and let your heart melt down towards the floor. Try to creep your fingers out even further. So this is child's pose, a great place to come anytime in the practice, to be, to rest, to reconnect, to pause. Then go ahead and rise back up to all fours. You might bring your knees back directly under your hips. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Get a stretch for the bottom of your feet, and then begin to elevate the hips up and back. It's that upside down V shape. Your eyes are looking at your toes, maybe your belly. You're shifting back into your legs. Maybe the knees are softly bent. The tailbone is really high up. The head just sort of dangles here with straight arms. It's called downward facing dog. A great way to figure out if you're in the right place for down dog, relation to hands and feet, is to come forward as if you're about to take a push-up. If you have to adjust your hands and feet, go ahead and do so. But now don't adjust them as you come back to downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Eyes go to your toes. Now come forward again into that push-up. And now back to down dog. So we feel this sense of hinging, if you will, coming forward to the push-up. You'll inhale, you'll exhale back to down dog. Take 2 more of those, just finding sensation here. Basics of a practice, nothing complicated. From downward facing dog, gaze your eyes forward. Just begin to walk your feet until your feet find your hands, and you'll stay in the forward fold. For most, the knees need to stay bent here. It's not about touching the floor. It's about feeling some spaciousness in the low back, working into the hamstrings and quieting the mind. Slide your hands halfway up, maybe to the shins, and look forward as you breathe. And then when you exhale, forward fold. We call it a halfway lift. Come up halfway, take a breath, look forward, and then exhale, forward fold. And do that one more time, just again, finding that rhythm between the breath and the movement. And after this fold, I want you to picture the most beautiful flower. It begins in the early mornings as it unfurls. Begin to take the body upright, stacking bone on bone. Go slow. The head is the very last thing to come up. And when it does, the shoulders fall down the back. And here we are standing. Go ahead and just let your arms come down by your side. Close your eyes for a moment. The very beginning of class, when you were on your back, be connected to our breath. And as we go on about our practice or on about our day, sometimes we lose touch with that simple, basic breath, this present moment. We get caught up in our tasks, caught up in the things that we have to do or not do, maybe caught up in yesterday or tomorrow. But to feel the basic breath brings you right now. I'm going to come into a very simple half sun salutation that will lead us into a sun salutation, the basics of a yoga practice. Sometimes it's really important to return. Slide your arms up Palms will be facing each other, but they're not touching. So arms are just directly shoulder width, the palms inward. Maybe even so much that the pinkies start to turn inward, and that takes a subtleness to your heart of lift. This one is extended mountain. Take a long breath in here. Maybe start to look up just slightly. And when you exhale, reach your arms up and back a tiny bit, not far. Your heart lifts. You'll inhale back to a straight spine, arms stay high. And then when you exhale, soften your knees and fold over your legs. Slide your hands halfway up again, take a breath. And then exhale, forward fold. You'll unfurl like a flower one more time, coming up slow, breathing in. When you get to the very top, head is neutral, lower your shoulders and exhale. Might even be open mouth, big breath out. Arms will go high, you'll take a long breath in. When you exhale, reach up and back, just a slight elevation of the heart. Come back to a straight spine, inhale. Fold over your bent-ish legs, exhale. Come up halfway. Fold again. And recreate that. Listening to the rhythm of your breath, be your teacher. Take a few rounds of this traditional greeting of the day, awakening the body. Take one more cycle. Just connect here. Next time you get to that fold, stay. We're going to add on. Come up halfway. Fold. This time when you inhale, come up strong with a little bit intent, a little bit of power, and you'll reach high and long breath in. When you exhale, reach up and back, take the slight back bend. Come back to neutral, inhale. And then exhale, fold down. Come up halfway and fold. Touch the floor with your hands. Step your right foot back, bend your left knee, and immediately come up to a crescent lunge. So the arms go high. Torso is directly over the hips. So we're in a crescent lunge here. We're going to come just to a very traditional sun salutation. We won't be here long, but the first time through, kind of organize the body and get a sense of what it feels like. Take a breath in, and then float your hands back to the mat. Let them stick. And step your left foot back to the push-up. You can lower your knees if you'd prefer. Take a breath in wherever you're at. When you exhale, hug the elbows tight to the body and lower all the way down to the floor. You'll untuck your toes. Elbows will be high like cricket wings. And when you inhale, push your heart forward, lift your nose. Baby cobra. And when you exhale, lower your forehead, tuck your toes, and find that downward facing dog, that upside down V shape. And then your eyes will go forward. Your feet will follow, maybe a step, maybe a hop, maybe a crawl. You're back in the fold at the top of your mat. We'll start that sequence again and take the left leg this time. So come up halfway, take a breath, and fold. Find length, fold again. Come up with some power. Inhale, reach up, look up. Beautiful. Reach up and back as you exhale. Find length again, and then fold down. Take your halfway lift. Bring your hands to the mat, touch. This time left foot steps back, right knee bends, and you come up to a lunge on your inhale. Settle and get organized on your exhale. And then take another breath in. Float your hands back to the mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. You'll breathe in. Either take the knees or the toes and lower your body on your exhale. When your body connects to the mat, untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra, maybe cobra. Nothing more is needed. Forehead comes back to the mat and you find downward facing dog. Take a breath. Eyes go back to the top. We go back again. I'll walk you through one cycle through. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Extend the body long. Reach up, big breath in. Reach up and back, lift your heart. Come back to straight spine, inhale. Fold over your legs, exhale. Find some length, halfway lift, breathe. Hands connect with the mat, right foot steps back. Inhale to the crescent lunge. Settle on your exhale. Lift your heart on your inhale. Hands float down to the mat, exhale. Step back on your inhale, find plank. Lower your body, exhale. Peel your heart up, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Eyes go back to the top, feet return to the top. You'll be in a fold. Find length, reset the spine, halfway lift, and fold again. Come up with power. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, extend the heart up, extend back. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. Fold over your legs. A halfway lift, reset. Hands find the mat. Left foot this time steps back. When you inhale, come up to the crescent lunge. Settle on your exhale. Take a breath in. Hands float down to the mat. You'll step back through the plank pose. Lower the body if it's getting tiring to do this. Just go right to down dog. Listen to your body. From downward facing dog, gather up your breath. Remember, these sun salutations is our way to warm up the body, to connect, to greet the day, to come into intention, to be in the basics of the practice. Eyes go back to the top. Feet follow. The halfway lift resets and prepares. And then you fold. And you'll take that entire sequence again, reaching up, reaching back, finding length, folding. The right foot will lead you back to the lunge. You'll move through that push-up position. You'll pause in down dog just to reassess, gather up the breath, recollect the mind. You'll return to the top, do the left side. Continue to move like that, just listening to the sound of your breath, to the rhythm, and to the basic practice of being alive. Cycle through one more time, feeling the aliveness breath and body. When you finish this cycle, stay in the folds. Just settle again. Walk your feet close. We come to this posture a lot. It's another very basic posture. It's important to kind of feel correctly without causing pain. Bend your knees and bring your arms towards your ears as if you're sitting in a chair. So the arms extend at a diagonal, unless that hurts your back. So here's where we get into trouble here with chair pose. We're often leaning forward into the toes. So shift back into the heels, even so much that the little toes can lift off the mat. And then this curve in our back, see if you can tuck the tailbone under you like you're just scooping it under, and that creates space in that lumbar spine. And then we might bend just a little bit more and we begin to feel this heat happening. So when we hold a posture, the mind gets very busy. We often wonder when we'll be finished with the posture or what's coming next. And so practice again is just coming back time and time again to paying attention to the breath, feeling the sensation. And then you'll drop just an inch. And then drive your body high. Big breath in. And when you exhale, lower your arms and just stand at attention like we did at the very beginning of our sun salutation series. I'm going to come into a warrior series, very basic postures. Step your left foot way back and bend your right knee. And then split your arms the length of your mat, the long side. So you're looking forward over your right hand, and your right hand is directly above your bent right knee, and your left foot is entirely plugged into the mat, and your left leg is straight, and the toes are facing towards that long edge of your mat. So these long, spacious legs, right knee is bent, heavy, 90 degrees if you can get there, and the arms are long, out to a T shape, but you're looking forward over your right hand. This is warrior 2. We settle again into the breath. Tap into this sense of empowerment here. Warrior postures by nature kind of stoke this internal flame within us of power and knowing, confidence. It can be really transformative when we feel a little bit off to come into just a posture that's basic, not complicated, but yet so empowering. Go ahead and flip your right palm up. Just rotate the palm up. And now take your right hand high to the sky and just let your left arm find your straight left leg. This is what we call a reverse warrior. Sometimes it's referred to as peaceful warrior, which I really like, so that the spine gets this beautiful arch on the right side as the right arm reaches up and over. Maybe the eyes even follow. So nice. Take a breath in. Come back to warrior 2. Beautiful. Now begin to take the belly forward. Sweep the left arm down and then up into warrior 1. So here's where that back knee might start to feel uncomfortable. So widen your stance. So in Warrior One, the belly's forward, the heart's forward, the arms are above the head, similar to a lunge, but the entire left foot stays on the mat here. So for most, the left knee begins to feel uncomfortable by trying to torque the left hip forward. So it's so simple, just step wider. Separate your legs a bit. So here's Warrior One. Breathe. Now keep your arms just where they're at. Pivot your left foot so that you're back on the ball mount joint like a crescent lunge. So we've been here. We were here in that sun salutation, right knee's bent, left leg is to the back, we're on the toes. And then start to lean forward into your bent right leg. Keep your arms where they're at. And then take the risk. Shift the entire body into the right leg. Extend the arms forward with the left leg lifted in Warrior Three, a balance pose. We're hitting all the warriors today. Basic posture. Take one more breath here, standing on your right leg. And then bring your left to meet your right, arms down by your side, and close your eyes. Reconnect again to breathing. Remember, you are not defined by your ability on this mat whatsoever. It's an exploration. It's a connection. It's sensation. It's grace. Let's try the whole series on the other side. Step your right foot way back. Bend your left knee. Split your arms lengthwise. Look at your left hand. It's directly above your left knee. The entire right foot is plugged into the mat, and you're in that fierce Warrior Two. Flip your left palm. Reach your left hand high. Let your right arm drape down your back. Find that peaceful shape. We're going to transition back to Warrior Two. So split the arms long. Yeah. And now sweep your right arm down and then up. Turn the belly forward, the heart forward, the eyes forward. You might need to separate the legs if your right knee does not like that. Work the right hip forward. So you might need to separate the legs and find that fierce Warrior One. Now begin to spin your right foot just a little bit so that you're on the toes, the ball mount joint of that right foot, and the heel's up. And begin to shift forward into the bent left leg. Keep your arms high. You're going to take that launch here. So lean forward just a little bit more. And then when you inhale next, push into your left foot, lift your right leg, reach your arms forward like you're flying, Superman style, reaching forward, Warrior Three. Lower your right foot next to your left. Stand tall and close your eyes. Just pay attention here to the rhythm of your breath. Maybe the sounds outside the space. Maybe you can hear the sounds in my space. Sometimes when we get overwhelmed, we forget about the basics. We forget about the simplicity of a cup of herbal tea in the morning and a gratitude practice. Sometimes we forget the basics of connecting to who we are. Slowing down a little bit, not complicating an already complicated life. Returning to the basics of a practice will invite you to return to the basics of your life. There's enough complications. Sometimes it's really good to just return to basics. Press your hands together at your heart, palm to palm. Shift the weight into your left leg. Lift your right knee up forward in front, and then open it to the side. And then bring your right foot somewhere on your left leg, anywhere except the knee joint. So either below or above the knee joint, maybe even down, so that the toes are still on the mat like a kickstand. We're coming into the basic version of tree. So find your balance, root into that standing leg. Keep the breath steady. Your tree may stay here, closed into itself. It's fine. If you'd like to grow your tree, begin to take your arms up and then out like beautiful branches, coming into this beautiful version of yourself. Breathe. And then begin to come out of the tree just as you came in. So if the branches grew, begin to bring the branches back together at your heart and lower your right foot, close your eyes. Open your eyes, bring your hands together at your heart again. Shift to the right foot this time. Right leg is our tree trunk. And lift your left knee forward. Let the knee open. Place the left foot somewhere on the right leg. Kickstand is nice, it's stable. Maybe to work balance, it slides up to the calf or maybe even the inner thigh. And then decide, does your tree want to stay here, close to the heart? Or is the expression of growth something that resonates with you? So if it does, allow your branches to grow, and you'll take about 5 breaths wherever you're at. One more breath. And then lower the left foot, close your eyes, let your arms just come down by your side. Bring your toes to touch. Hands come back to the heart. Press your thumbs against your sternum. Let the legs squeeze together and connect just for a moment, just to feel this strength in your body. And then you will walk your feet towards the edges of your mat. Turn your toes off, heels on. Keep your hands at your heart and slide down into that familiar basic yogi squat. Might be halfway. It might be that your tailbone reaches towards the floor. Close your eyes when you get to your version of this hip opening squat. Begin to transition your body all the way down to the mat, and go ahead and come all the way down onto your spine, back to where we started. Draw your knees into your chest. And then interlace your fingers around your left knee. Straighten your right leg all the way down onto the mat. Make it as long as it can be. The left knee is hugging tight to the chest, maybe even squeezing. This is great benefit to the spleen and to the stomach. Then go ahead and let your left hand fall down towards the floor. Keep your right hand on your knee. Then draw your left knee over your body with your right hand. It'll be all the way over to the right, and your head will naturally turn to the left. So the right leg is long on the mat. Left knee is bent over to the right. So we're in this twist. This is another really important direction the spine moves. Come back to a straight, flat spine. Hug both knees in. This time the right knee will stay into the chest as the left leg goes long onto the mat, as long as it can possibly be. Squeeze really tight. This is a wonderful benefit to the liver. Just applying a little bit of pressure to that side body, abdominal wall. Let your right hand fall to the mat. Use your left hand to drag your right knee up and over the body into a beautiful twist. Your head will know exactly where to turn, and you feel this invigoration of the spine. Again, listen to the sweet, sweet sound of your breath. Perhaps the sounds of nature reminding you of just how alive vitality that nature brings to our senses. Helps us to connect to our own vitality within our body. Return to a straight spine. Begin to find a position that's your favorite. And it might be that you set up to close your practice. There's no wrong or right way to come into this final pose where we integrate and we connect to just what it feels like to have brought the basics of our practice into our experience and reminding us that life and our practice shouldn't be complicated. The simplicity of breathing and moving and familiar shapes can be incredibly soothing and calming for the mind. And also brings confidence that we know what we're doing. We know how to do this. We know how to show up in life. So as you lay in your final pose, take a full breath in first, and then just release the practice. This beautiful day, beautiful opportunity to be our best version of ourselves. So I'm so grateful that you chose to practice and connect and have a reminder of the basics and just to let your practice sometimes feel the way that I believe it should feel, which is intuitive and easy to a degree, where I'm not too worried about turning into some shape that can be inaccessible. There's plenty of opportunities to challenge our body on the mat and off the mat. There should be plenty of opportunities to just have basic practice. So thank you so much for showing up and for practicing with me and for just being in my life. I'm super grateful And I look forward to next time, and I look forward to seeing and connecting and staying in touch with all of you. Have a beautiful day.